Winter Park Resort is nestled in the Fraser Valley, a short drive from the town of Winter Park and about an hour and a half from Denver. It's a high-altitude Colorado resort receiving 344 inches of snowfall each year. With a fantastic mix of beginner, intermediate and advanced skiing, it's easy to see why this resort has won industry awards.
The resort is made up of two main mountain areas, Winter Park and Mary Jane. There's a bit of a history to the Mary Jane name, while the resort marketing material presents the mountain as 7 territories. Winter Park has a great extent of trails serviced by mostly high-speed lifts and some of the best mogul and tree skiing we've come across.
Getting to Winter Park from Denver International Airport is relatively easy, using car hire or a shuttle. There's also a ski train option from Denver on some weekends. The drive is over Berthoud Pass, so check CDOT before you leave as the pass could be closed. There are free resort buses running between Winter Park, Fraser and the resort, dropping you right at the gondola.
If you are driving, there are free and paid parking options at both the Winter Park and Mary Jane bases. The drop-off zone for Winter Park is still a fair hike to the base. Mary Jane, it is well located. Access to the resort and any other activities in the valley is easiest with a car.
Winter Park Base has a mix of new and old facilities. The new accommodation buildings provide a village feel, while the legacy buildings house the resort services. The free shuttle buses drop you off at Balcony House for ticketing and locker access, which is near the gondola if you're ready to go straight up the mountain.
Ski school is a fair walk across the base, including some stairs, but the staff are friendly and will get you set up quickly. There are on-mountain food options with Lunch Rock and Sunspot being the standouts, but the Winter Park and Mary Jane base areas have the most food and beverage options. Check the resort map for venues that allow packed lunches.
Let's get to the skiing. As mentioned before, Winter Park has a fantastic spread of terrain for all types of skiers. For the beginner, you can ride the Gemini chair straight to Discovery Park, which is the main beginner area, or take the gondola up to access the green runs off of the Olympia and High Lonesome lifts. The green runs off High Lonesome are tree-lined and in a valley, and can be a great place to escape the weather. For young kids, Dilly Dally Alley and the Ashcat Terrain Park are worth a look.
For the intermediate skier, the pick of the blue runs on the Winter Park side is Cramp, a wide open groomer with some small bumps on the right if you want to dip your toes into something a little more challenging. This trail can feel like Central Station in the afternoon as beginners level up and everyone else looks for a quick exit from the mountain. Best to venture over to the Jane side if you're looking for more blue runs.
The Mary Jane Trail is the pick of the blues here, another wide open and decently long blue run that can be as busy as I-70. We'd recommend staying on the cat track off of Olympia Lift and going around to Arrowhead Loop and Rainbow Cut. These are two fantastic blues with minimal traffic and sheltered from the weather. Venturing higher up on the panoramic opens up a lot more advanced terrain, but this is also more exposed to the weather. So pick your timing and make sure you have the right clothing. If you're venturing over to Vasquez Ridge, make sure you keep your speed to get across the flats to the lift.
This resort is a real playground for the advanced skier. There is the extreme Vasquez Cirque for thrill seekers, although it is often not open, and lots of steep and deep bumps and trees across the entire resort. The moguls off the Challenger lift, the Sea Chair, are hard to beat. The gladed trees of Parry's Peak are loads of fun, and there's tree skiing across the whole resort. Over on the Eagle Wind side of the mountain is a great combination of bump and tree skiing.
Don't overlook the advanced runs on the park side. Bradley's Bash and Outrigger are fantastic, and on powder days you'll find freshies in the trees late in the day. The Rail Yard and Re-Railer terrain parks have some great features, but Winter Park is not a resort known for its terrain parks. This is a resort for skiing trails and trees.
Winter Park has limited snowmaking facilities, so early season can see limited terrain being open. Similarly, the south-facing runs can get pretty bare late spring, but due to the elevation, the snow generally holds up really well. The flats out to Wild Spur Express can get very mushy and sticky in spring. Good luck if you're on a snowboard.
A few things to be aware of at Winter Park. First up, the panoramic and Eagle Wind lifts open later and close earlier. Don't rush to get there in the morning, and don't leave it too late in the afternoon if you're looking to get to the top of the mountain for the selfie or group photo. Since the resort is close to Denver, expect crowds on the weekend, and some Saturdays will see runs closed for competition racing.
The traffic back to Denver on Sunday afternoons can be a parking lot down I-70, so consider this when making your travel plans. Also expect a massive influx on a powder day. The locals, including people from Denver, will take the day off. On these days, all bets are off and mountain etiquette goes out the window in the hunt for fresh tracks.
As a high-altitude Colorado resort, if you're coming from sea level, take it easy on the first few days and drink loads of water. Don't be surprised if you run out of energy soon after lunch, as the lack of oxygen is taxing on the body. The resort terrain covers a number of ridges and valleys, so if the weather gets ugly, look for runs out of the wind, or ask a mountain host, wearing yellow, for some advice. Most of the time you'll be able to keep skiing, avoiding the worst of the weather, except for some exposure at the top of the lifts.
There are new modern accommodation options on mountain for those seeking the ski-in, ski-out experience. But because the resort and town are separate, you'll be removed from the bustle of town. This might be perfect for a romantic escape or family break, but not for a spring break getaway. The town of Winter Park has lots of accommodation options, heaps of restaurants and bars, and plenty of rental shops if you're looking to hire equipment.
In town, there are some great options for family, including tubing, bowling, snowmobiling, and a cinema. The rec centre has a gym and pool for some activities that don't involve snow. Fraser and Meadow Ridge offer a range of accommodation options and are close to the supermarket. The resort bus does service this area, but we'd recommend having a car if you're staying this far from the resort.
In our opinion, Winter Park is a great all-round resort offering a broad range of trails and some truly phenomenal mogul and tree skiing. Check out our guide videos to get the most out of this very unpretentious, family-friendly resort.